Now, if we are going into a recession, it would be a very strange one, says my next guest. That's because industrial activity still remains super strong. Joining me now is Chris Senyek. He's Chief Investment Strategist at Wolfe Research. Also with us is Jason Brady, President and CEO of Thornburg Investment Management. Welcome to both of you. And Chris, please make this point, because I understand why we all, are concerned about the recession risk. But at the same time, this is a strong economy that to some extent can absorb the higher prices.
Yeah, hi, Kelly. Thanks for having me on. So we're in a very unusual period of time, to not state the obvious. You have supply shortages throughout the economy, whether it's in housing, whether it's in autos, whether it's in semiconductors, or many other areas. At the same time, higher prices at the pump are starting to hit consumers, not only on the lower end side, but also on the higher end side, apart from the wealth effect that lower stock prices does as well. And so ISM, which is a traditional indicator of industrial activity, we think could stay very strong and elevated as these supply chain issues work themselves out over the next 6 to 12 months, while consumer confidence and consumer spending takes a bit of a breather.
Yeah, believe me, we're going to see that play out. Chris, real quickly before I move on to Jason, what are the investment implications of what you're saying here?
The investment implications is that you have to steer portfolio positioning into commodity, energy-related parts of the market, which is not something that investors have done in quite some period of time. You have to go back to 2007 or the big commodity bull cycle that was led by China previously, and avoid discretionary stocks, avoid tech stocks, which investors have come to love, over the past 12 years. I think the action is going to be in different parts of the market going forward, and a lot of investors still aren't positioned that way.
And saw a note from Deutsche Bank as well this morning, kind of pointing out just how strong commodities have been, and they think we're still early cycle. Jason, your perspective on this is a little different, at least in terms of the investing implications. You still like some of the big names like Visa, JP Morgan, and Tencent. How do you think people should be positioned right now?
So it's obviously we're in an inflationary environment, and actually our prior guest talking about oil shortages indicated that even in that part of the market, they're seeing labor shortages, which are going to continue to drive up costs, which again does actually typically happen in commodity cycles. So for us, we're very leery of the effect of higher rates across markets. I would agree with Chris that the tech sector might be more exposed to that, at least from a sentiment standpoint. But ultimately, we're really interested in making sure we're investing in a stronger consumer in the United States. And so financials are good to us, and JP Morgan exactly is the name that we're suggesting.
So let's highlight that, Jason. You're investing in a stronger consumer in an environment where we're talking about $130 oil. Why doesn't that faze you more?
Well, you pointed out that actually the real cost of commodities for consumers is actually not at a terrifically high level. But more to the point, for me, I've been a fixed income investor for a really long time. I look at the balance sheet first, and the consumer's balance sheet looks really good. It's actually corporate balance sheets and government balance sheets that are more challenged. So the consumer is entering this slowdown in a good place.